Hey guys, this is Miss Smith. We're going to be doing 11.2 and 11.3 in the same one. So we're going to be doing dot plots and box plots. Alrighty, so we're going to go through dot plots really quickly because we have already done this in class. So we should be able to read a dot plot. So going over, a dot plot is similar to a line plot. Dot plots are used to represent each number in a data set. Look at the set of data below. We need to construct a dot plot to represent the data in the set. So these are all our numbers, and what do you notice about these numbers? They're already in order. So if they were not in order and we collected data, we would make sure we put them in order from least to greatest. So how do we create this? Well, we create a number line that includes all of the numbers in the data set. So in order to create it, we need to know what our lowest number is and our highest number. Okay, so since this is already in order, we know our lowest number or our minimum number is 28, and our highest number is 35, or our maximum number is 35. So we need to use the minimum and the maximum numbers to help guide us in determining the beginning and end of our number line. So doing this, I put the number line here, I put the data set here, and so we're going to translate it into a dot plot. Notice how I started with 28, the minimum, and I ended with 35, the maximum. Okay, so I want you to pause me, and I want us to create the data plot by placing however many numbers of each and putting a dot. Okay, so pause me for a second, and then we'll go over this together. All right, welcome back. You should already have yours plotted, so we can do this fast. Okay, there's 128, 2 29s, 130, 2 30.5, 3 31s, 2 31.5, 2 32s, 2 32.5, 2 33s, 1 33.5, 2 34s, and then 135. Okay, so now let's look at the distribution of data. Okay, so we're going to describe the shape of the dot plot. Are the dots evenly distributed or grouped on one side? Now, I have the answers on here, but I want us to talk about it, and then you can write it in your own words. You don't have to write every single little word, but you do have to use the keywords and write it in your own words. Okay, so how you can understand it. So, what's the shape of the plot? This is something that we're definitely going to be talking about, the shape of the data plot. Okay, well, looking at it, it looks pretty evenly spread, don't you think? So, there's only 1, maybe 2 here, and 1, 2. Most of them are in the middle area. Do you see? So, this is what we should say. The dots are fairly evenly spread, and then most are in the middle. Okay? So let's talk about the next thing we need to know about a dot plot. What value best describes the center of data? What's center mean, you think? Good. It means median, right? So the middle. So what value best describes the center? Why did you choose this value? Okay, so when we have our numbers evenly spread, I probably wouldn't find the median using dots. I would definitely go up here and do what we said earlier, either crossing them out lightly or putting a dot, starting here and going right towards the middle. So I want you to find the median of this data using your technique by crossing out as you go to find the median, which means the middle number. Okay, good. Hope you paused me. You should have gotten 31, 31.5 or 31 5/10 as your median. Okay, so of course we know what median means, the same amount of numbers on the right and the left, or the left and the right. Okay, so now we're going to describe the spread of data. Spread means pretty much, where the data, it's the range, pretty much said. It's the range. So what's the spread of data? Are there any outliers? Let's first look and see if there are any outliers. No, nothing is insanely to the left or insanely to the right. We're all pretty evenly spread, and we said, most are in the middle, but we're evenly spread across. Okay, so the data is spread between 28 and 35. Most of the data is between 29 and 34. So 28 and 35 are not outliers. So they're not insanely, to one side. All right. Next part. We got to find the mean, median, and mode. We've already done this, so we're going to go through this pretty fast. Okay, how would I find the mean? Good. We would add all numbers, then divide by the amount of numbers we have. Okay, so I have it down here. When we added all the numbers, we should have got 664 and 5/10. And how many numbers did we have? If we counted them up, we have 21 numbers, right? Okay, so then we would divide by 21, 664.5, divide by 21, make sure you bring up your decimal, and we should have gotten 31 and 64/100. Good. Okay, median, we've already decided that was what our center was. So 31.5, we've already determined that, and that's what we call the center. Okay, the mode. Okay, let's look back. What was our mode? Which one had the most, or which number was most often? Good, it'd be 31, right? Okay, so 31 was our mode. That should be pretty easy. We've already gone over that. Okay, so now we're going to compare the two dot plots. Okay, so we're comparing, we're comparing the shape of our dot plots, the centers of our dot plots, and the spreads. Let's go over what those mean again. The shape, okay, it's saying is it mostly to the left, mostly to the right. Where's our data at? Okay, comparing the centers mean the median. Okay, the spreads mean what is the range of data. Okay, alrighty, so comparing the shapes. Exercise. Well, most data is less than 4 hours. Okay, video games. Most data is 6 hours or greater. Do you see how they have their data on different sides? Okay, compare the centers of the dot plots by finding the medians. Okay, so the median, I couldn't find it unless I listed out my numbers. Okay, so we have 1 0, we have 3 1s, we have 3 2s, we have 2 3s, 1 5, 2 7s, and 2 12s. Okay, you would do the same thing over here. Now, if I did this step by step with you, this would be like, a 30-minute video. So I'm just going to hope that you know how to find the medians and, the ranges. So we're going to go over this pretty fast. Otherwise, this video would be so long. Okay, so exercise, you should have gotten 2 and 25/100. So that means that that would be our median for those. Okay, so video games, you should have got 9 hours if we listed all the numbers. So why don't you go ahead and pause me and list all your numbers and make sure that you get 9 hours. Okay, comparing the spreads of the dot plots by calculating the range. Okay, the range for this one would be 12 minus 0, easy. Okay, the other one would be highest, maximum, minus the lowest, minus the minimum would be 14. Alrighty, now let's move on to box plots. Box plots is totally something brand new. Okay, alrighty, so box plots are also called box and whisker plots. Box plots are created using medians. So we're going to be getting a lot of medians here to create it, which create an upper and lower quartile, okay, which means half of the data. To complete a box plot, you will need to find the following. You're just going to fill this in literally to get the notes down, and then we're going to talk about it in detail tomorrow, because like I said, if I went into, massive detail, this video would be so long. So make sure you copy each one of these down as I go through it. And if you need to pause me, pause me. Okay, number 1, we have to find the median of the data. Okay, remember, you always have to put in order first. Okay, so if we have a collected data, we got to find the median of the data first. Step number 2, find the median of the upper quartile. Okay, these are the numbers to the right of the actual median. Okay, so we split it and find the median of one side of our data. Okay, then we're going to find the median of the other side of our data, the lower quartile. These are to the left of the actual median. Okay, the median, upper quartile, and lower quartile form the box of the graph. Okay, number 1, the minimum, the lowest number in the data set, creates the maximum, the highest number in the data set. Then we find the data spread, which is the range. Okay, pause me, copy these down, and we will get a lot of practice tomorrow. Okay, you need to memorize where these definitions are. Okay, you need to memorize this picture and make sure you copy each part of this down that we just talked about so you can know tomorrow. We are going to determine if the data has an outlier. I want you to copy these down, but we are not going to do that today. We're going to do it in class tomorrow as the notes. Okay, so number 1, just copy this down right now. Find the interquartile range, the IQR, by subtracting the upper and lower quartile numbers. Step 2, multiply the IQR interquartile range by 1.5 to get the outlier value. 3, add the outlier value to the maximum. This is the upper limit. 4, subtract the outlier value from the minimum. This is called the lower limit. Okay, if any numbers fall outside of your UL or LL, which is your upper limit and your lower limit, you have an outlier. So that's how you determine, is there an outlier in your data? Okay, like I said, probably really confusing, but we will definitely make one of these tomorrow and go through it step by step. But you need to make sure you copy all of this down so you have a visual of what a box plot looks like. Alrighty, make sure you scroll down, answer those questions, and I want you to answer number 2 with a smiley face. Okay, that's how I know you watched the whole video. Answer number 2 with a smiley face. Do not answer the question, answer it with a smiley face so I know that you watched the video. All right, thanks guys.